After a tough work week, just like usual, I decided to head out of town. I've got my own cabin in the woods. I packed some groceries, threw them in the trunk, and hit the road. I arrived in the evening, got tired on the way, and immediately went to sleep. I fell asleep quickly and deeply. I was woken up by the car alarm going off. I thought maybe some small critter set it off. I looked out the window, made sure there were no thieves, and turned off that awful noise. I laid back down, and just as I was starting to drift off, the alarm went off again. Without getting up, I pressed the button, and it went silent. But after 5 minutes, the alarm blared again. All right, maybe once, okay, twice. But more than that, you start thinking something's wrong. Feeling a little uneasy, I finally got up, turned it off again. But instead of going back to bed, I started peering through the curtain to see who was messing around in the middle of the night. I observed, and then I see, by the light of a lantern in the bushes, someone's shadow starting to emerge. The shadow was getting closer to the car, revealing its shape, something skinny in a black cloak with a hood, about 2 meters tall, with long, thin arms, casually approached the car, tapped the wheel, and stepped back. At that moment, I realized it was time to get scared. Trembling with fear, I disabled the alarm and continued to watch. Something came out of the bushes, approached the gate, reached over it, and removed the barrier holding the gate doors shut. This creature was heading for the front door. I was paralyzed with fear. Who is this? What does it want from me? And why won't it leave? I couldn't move. Shivers ran up and down my spine, giving me a strong sense of unease. My mouth went dry, and panic started painting horrifying scenarios in my mind, trying to find something to protect myself with, but then I froze. I froze because it was looking in the window, pressing its hands against the glass. It was trying to see if anyone was home. That's when it hit me. All those shenanigans with the car were meant to lure a victim outside. Why? I didn't want to know, but the fact remains, it's here, and it's looking for me. Its breath was fogging up the window. I couldn't tear my gaze away from its face. Ash-colored skin, covered in wrinkles, deep, tiny black eyes like beads, 2 holes instead of a nose. Its breath was so heavy and raspy that it felt like it was stealing the air. It had no lips, just 2 rows of sharp yellow teeth. I wasn't visible, as I was deep inside the house. But it wasn't about to just leave. Standing by the window, it moved to the door. Knock. Another knock. Through the gap under the door, I saw it trying to slip its fingers under the door. The doorknob started jerking up and down frantically. And the sounds, it didn't sound like a human voice. It was an animal growl. You know when you start taking a bone away from a dog, and it growls in anger. Something resembling those sounds, only meaner and more guttural, came from this creature. I knew that if it heard me, it wouldn't leave me in peace and would find a way inside the house. So I just lay on the stairs and waited for it to be over. Tears streamed down my face involuntarily, no matter how hard I tried to hold them back. My temples started pounding so hard that it felt like my soul was shaking. I blacked out. When I woke up, I immediately checked the door. The door was intact. I had never been so relieved. I got up from the stairs and looked out the window. It was already daylight, and the sun was fairly high in the sky. Without much thought, I went upstairs, grabbed my keys, and left without taking any of my belongings. Stepping outside, I saw its tracks on the ground, proof that I'm not crazy. The broken doorknob, scratches on the door, and pieces of the gate lying in the middle of the road all spoke to that. Hopped in the car and got the heck out of that town. On the way, I turned on the radio and heard that 2 girls' bodies were found in the area that morning. Their bodies were mutilated and dumped in a swamp. Turns out, it found what it was looking for after all.